of our going live. I went live on the wrong Twitch stream. Like I was saying before, as you can tell, we don't have Rem or Xantar with us. We have Josh. He's a podcaster, a member of AIE, WoW player, and generally excited about Heroes of the Storm along with us. Josh, why don't you say hi to our chat room?
Hello, everybody. I'm Josh, like he said, AIE member, podcaster of The Lifestyle Geek, and unbelievably excited for Heroes of the Storm.
Woo!
And we have David, like usual.
Hi, everybody. I'm saying boring old David, but glad to see everybody.
Yeah, I think, David, you've missed the least number of episodes of any co-host.
Oh, all right.
I think
Good. So I get like most sportsmanlike, or
yeah, out of the 11 episodes, I think you've been on at least 9 of them, right? Maybe 10.
I think so. Yes, I think I just missed one, right?
Yeah.
When I was sick that time.
You were sick. Oh, you know what? You were sick that one time, and you were away that.
Oh,
one
and
time.
I was in skiing.
You were skiing.
One excuse is better than the other.
I don't know. Skiing sounds a lot more fun.
I just remember Zan giving me a hard time saying he was sick when he showed up. So
because technically he did. I mean, can't argue.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Let's see. Closing down everything so we can have a nice, fun stream. Chat room. What have you guys been up to this week? Any gaming? Any fun? I'd hope so. A week without fun would be boring.
Very.
There we go. Yeah, we'll talk about what we do during the show, because that's the fun part of the show, is we get to talk and they get to listen. It's funny, it's normally Rem starts us talking about random topics at the beginning of the show. I feel like, before the show starts, I feel like we're missing something. Like, she'll start talking about car shopping, and then we'll just start talking about cars.
I started watching Downton Abbey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How's that treating you?
It's not bad, you know. It's kind of like Game of Thrones with less like swords, basically, right?
Swords are the fun part, though.
And like a couple of Game of Thrones people in it, actually, if I recall.
Oh, really?
It
Yeah.
sounds like you're saying it's like Game of Thrones without all the fun.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like I mean, people don't die all the time, but it's like actually it's not a bad show, I have to admit. But there's definitely there's some Doctor Who actors in there, Adam. So.
Do you feel like when you're watching it, you should like have like a cup of tea and keep your pinky out?
Yes, I do, and I enjoy it very much. I was talking to one of my raid members and saying I was really born for a life of nobility.
Oh, really? You're like,
I'm thinking like that's the way I should be living, and I'm a little upset. I was born 100 years too late.
You're like, not only should I be living a life of nobility, but I should be, rich and hanging out with the king and.
Well, that's the only advantage to the life of nobility. I don't want to be chivalrous or anything like that.
Look, I don't want to be kind to the lower folk.
I'll tolerate them, but that's about it.
Man, so Lowrocker Tahu wants to know, for only me and David, so Josh, you don't get to answer this question.
That's fine.
Do we drink Coke or Pepsi or both?
I'll let you go first, Adam.
I prefer Coke over Pepsi, but if I have to drink soda, when I'm drinking soda, I drink Dr. Pepper. So the correct answer is neither Dr. Pepper.
And I used to be a 100% Coke fan, and actually, as I've gotten older now, probably in the last 5 years or so, I've switched to Pepsi. So I took the Pepsi challenge, and I've now switched to it. So I'm a complete Pepsi person. Although if I really have any choice in terms of what to drink, it's usually Fruitopia.
Fruitopia.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been drinking a lot of water lately. I've been doing the weight loss challenge over at Buzzmaster. So I've been drinking a bunch of water. I've had iced tea in the mornings, which is pretty much water flavored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I guess that's what all drinks are, is flavored water.
I was going to say, if it's water flavored, then just drink water.
Oh, flavored, sorry. I guess, Josh, you get to answer that question too now.
Oh boy. Well, it depends what I'm eating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think Pepsi goes great with like sandwich stuff, and Coke doesn't. I know it's very weird, but that's how I look into it. It depends what I'm eating on what I'm going to drink.
Nice. I feel like now we all of a sudden need to start have people send random questions to us during the show.
That's good.
We might need it if the beta doesn't come
Random
out
silly
soon.
questions. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh man, I just realized that I did not update our little thing to all that well. Hold on one second.
What?
It still says jungler tips.
Oh, that's fine. Apparently they didn't take with Rem last week anyway.
They didn't take it. Oh man, that is so funny.
We played a little bit of League after the podcast last week, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I embarrassed myself with Vigar. It was pretty bad. That was the worst. I think that was the worst I've played.
Have you ever tried like Annie? She's pretty good.
Me?
Yeah.
Is she DPS?
Yeah, she can be.
Yeah.
She can be. I know.
Yeah.
I played her in the middle before. I think.
I was really good with Vigar before, and I think I just kind of I'm a little rusty. We've been working on Garrosh a lot lately, so that's been my focus. I'm trying to prove that Arcane can do it on Garrosh.
Oh yeah.
Good luck there.
Everyone in a second will be able to get to see a little bit behind the scenes as I delete the background and put the new one up. Let's see. Next question from Laura Kotahu, and then we'll start the podcast. For the drink of your choice, if you were to given 2 different flavor options, which would you choose? Provolone flavored pop or feta cheese flavored pop? First off, I don't drink pop. I drink soda.
That's right. Bill's from my neck of the woods.
Yeah. I would have to go with provolone if I had to choose one of the two. Not being a big feta fan myself. That being said, anyone around me would stop me in a moment's notice from drinking that due to my lactose intolerance.
Ooh.
See, I would take the feta flavored pop and I would pour it on French fries with some oregano and make really fake Greek poutine.
I was just gonna say you guys have poutine, so it can't be that far off.
There is actually a place like within about 10 minutes of my apartment that has Greek poutine. It's basically like regular poutine, but with feta instead of cheese curds. Yeah, we got poutine everywhere. McDonald's has it here now. Everything.
Yeah, I heard.
Taken over.
How about you, Josh?
I'm a fan of provolone, so I'm going to have to go with provolone flavored. Pop, as we call it here in Ohio, but I call it soda to be different.
Yeah. Ohio is pop, right?
Yep.
What do you call sandwiches?
A sandwich?
Or I should say, what do you call if you go to Subway? What do you get?
A sub?
A sub?
Yeah.
Not a hero sandwich?
You don't get a grinder?
I never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's
that
New England.
Grinder?
A grinder.
Got one of them grinders?
There's supposed to be an ER at the end.
Yeah, for us it's just a submarine.
A submarine sandwich.
Yeah.
I call them sub shops.
Sub shops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sub
we call
shop,
it we call them subs here sometimes, but grinder is kind of the more common. We definitely don't call them a hero.
Cod tongues. Ugh, God, Bill, what are you doing to me?
You're killing us.
Come on, dude. Yeah.
Toronto, via East Coast, via Canadian East Coast.
Ah.
Oh man.
Just north of you, Adam.
Yeah. True. Cape Cod.
Yeah. I get...
Okay, so in the count of 3, we're gonna hit record, and I will get this thing rolling. And 1. Wait, I'll count down actually. 3, 2, 1, record.
Welcome to the Nexus, the podcast for the heroes of Blizzard Entertainment.
Hello, heroes. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 11 of the Nexus podcast. I am your host, as usual, Adam Eastwood, and with me I have our lore-loving, time-altering gamer, David Troy.
Hello, Adam. Hello, Mr. August. Hello, chat room, and hello, everybody listening.
And
Great to be.
sorry. And with no Rem or Xantar this week, we decided to go out and find someone else. So our special guest host is a host of Lifestyle Geek and the upcoming Heroes podcast, Prepare for Combat, Josh Williams.
Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight?
We are doing awesome, and just like every week, we're going to get started talking about our weekend gaming. Josh, being the guest, you get to go first. What have you been up to in gaming this week?
In gaming this week, well, I bought a PlayStation 4 about 2 weeks ago. So I've been playing that a lot. I beat the new Tomb Raider recently. Very good. But other than that, I picked up Injustice today and been slowly getting less suckier at that game.
Oh man, I love Injustice. I played it a bunch. And
Seems to be a lot of fun because I'm a fan of Green Arrow, so I love the show, the Arrow. So playing as him is just awesome. I love it.
yeah, you just won me there because when I'm playing that game, I play tons of Green Arrow.
Nice.
He's a good mix between speed, distance, and I just beat everybody with him. When I played with my wife in that game, she would play, who was it? Aquaman, who actually doesn't suck in that game. And it was actually a good fight every time.
Nice.
David, what have you been up to?
Been pretty busy actually. Busy raiding. We're my raid group. We're 25 man, and in the Convert to Raid Guild, and we're actually working on Garrosh right now. So we spent 2 days working on Garrosh. It's a really fun fight. It's a bit challenging for Arcane, which is what I play, but really fun fight. Also, I actually got my first 2 legendary cards in Hearthstone, and I was pretty happy about that. I sharded one of them pretty quickly, though, because I found out I got Jiraxis and sharded him because I was terrible as a warlock.
Oh man!
Even though I know it's like blasphemy to shard Jiraxis, but I just couldn't. I lost about 5 rank levels trying to make it work. So I'm sorry, Lord Jiraxis. It's not you, it's me.
Oh man, I was all set on playing a shaman when I first started playing Hearthstone, and as soon as I got Jiraxis, I became a warlock player.
Well, that's exactly what I did. I was doing great as a shaman, got to like 12, jumped up a bunch of levels as soon as I got a Nixia, because it's great synergy with the Bloodlust.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I got Jiraxis, I'm like, oh, okay, I can have Onyxia and Jiraxis. I can play as a warlock. And an hour and a half later, I'm rank 18, and I was like, forget it. You're going to pay for this Jiraxis. So I sharded him and got another shaman. Now I'm back to like 13, so...
You're like, an hour and a half later, I was 3 ranks higher than Adam, so I said, screw it, I need to get higher.
That's right.
Well, for me, I've been playing a ton of League of Legends. I've been doing really well with kind of my switch and roll to an AD carry, opposed to playing in the jungle, so it's been a lot of fun. I've been finally leveled up a little bit more. I'm up to level 26 out of 30, so soon I'll be able to do some ranked matches, which has got me nervous but excited. I've been watching the LCS, just kind of watching the casters. I plan on kind of learn a little bit more about casting in the near future, so I want to listen to it as much as I can. I'm going to try doing some casts of the Heroes of the Storm stuff they have out there and get them up on our YouTube channel, which has actually all of our live podcasts on there. If anyone hasn't actually listened or watched it over there yet, you can go and check that out. It's just the youtube.com/Heroes of the Nexus. And, you know, the usual, WoW, StarCraft 2, Diablo, just playing around, having some fun. So this week with Josh here, we're going to have some questions for you, kind of get our audience in the know of you, get to know you a little bit better.
All right.
So that way when if you come back for another episode, we can just kind of jump into things. So Josh, when did you start podcasting, and what kind of made you start podcasting?
Well, I got my first podcast out with the Lifestyle Geek actually about the beginning of this month is when I started, and I just loved it instantly. I knew I would because I've been wanting to do it for the past 5 years, and I met someone that has done them before, and he wanted to start a new one, so we did. What got me to listen to podcasts and be that way is The Instance. I discovered them back in 2007, the World of Warcraft podcast, so that I didn't have to. I discovered them just browsing iTunes one day, bored in the winter, and instantly fell in love with it. And it was the first podcast I really listened to and just listened to it all the time. And getting into Scott Johnson's other podcast coming out and Little Extra Life at that time podcast, and getting to meet him in person at BlizzCon really motivated me more to actually put out the podcast that I've been wanting to.
Yeah, I think for me, I just started not too long ago. I think it was just about 3 or 4 months ago. So we're kind of in the same thing. You listen to the instance, you're like, I don't have to, but I want to. Looks
exactly.
Fun. And I'm very much a talker. Like, so you always want to give your 2 cents, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, I'm getting a mic and I'm doing this.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think yeah. Sorry, John.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, the instance is kind of like, the Abraham of all podcasters, right? Like, it all goes back to that. It's like so many people and so many podcasts have gotten, inspired by Scott and every, all the podcasts that he's done. And it's really, it's amazing to see just how much is, it's like in football, a coaching tree, right? It's like kind of like so much is sprouted out of that, out of the seed that Scott Johnson planted.
Yeah. And I've there's been a few tweets around there, like, who inspires you, and I was like, it's definitely Scott Johnson, but the first podcast I ever listened to was StarCraft podcast, the StarCast with Garrett. Yeah,
Garrett's awesome. I got to hang out with him too at BlizzCon.
Man, I need to go to BlizzCon. I'm jealous. So David, David and not Josh? I make sure I say the right name. What was your first podcast? Was it The Instance?
To listen to?
Yeah.
My first podcast that was gaming related was The Instance. Yeah, in fact, that actually kind of kept me in WoW. I was drifting away a little bit, and then I discovered if I could just listen to The Instance while playing, and kind of grinding my way through Northrend, it made it a lot more interesting. So I kind of burned through the first 120 episodes or something like that, however many they had at that time. That was my whole play time. So it gave me a good chance to learn the game, and then I really branched out from there. And I'm probably listening to about, maybe 15 or 16 podcasts a week now. Mm-hmm. Not all gaming related, but definitely it makes those subway trips go a lot faster.
So Josh, what is your experience when it comes to team brawlers?
Team brawlers. Well, back in 2006, 2007 whatever. My friends introduced me to Dota. From Warcraft 3. I played it with them only because I was horrible at it, and they knew what they were doing and didn't give me a hard time for sucking like all the online players would. And then League of Legends came out. I dabbled in it, not so much because I didn't feel like I was good enough. And the past year, though, I really got into League of Legends, even though I'm only level 12 or 13. I played it quite a bit during the summertime, and then Dota 2 came out, and I played that a lot too. I really like Dota 2 a lot, and I've actually got to play Heroes of the Storm at BlizzCon too.
Oh yeah, what do you think of it when you played? What kind of maybe got you excited over when you were able to play?
Everything excited me about that game when I played it. How it's more centered on team battles instead of separate lanes, and how your team needs to be organized. You just can't have whoever running around doing whatever. You guys have to be together. A lot of the times I noticed. I played as Tyrael, and I liked his play style. And I didn't really have time to read his descriptions of his spell, though, because, you're in the heart of battle. You don't really have time to read. And I like that there was no items. I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, you like the no items. Did you didn't feel like it took away from your customization at all?
Nope. I was never really a fan of the item system, anyways, in any of the MOBAs or team brawlers. Always having to know which build you need for certain characters. I mean, it's nice that League of Legends and in Dota 2 you can save them. I never cared for them. I hated, I got this much gold, I have to teleport back to town, look in the shop, or open up the shop, it's saved there, and click on it just to get a sword or what have you. I never liked that aspect because I hated having to be taken out of the battle. it just didn't sit well with me, I guess you can say.
Yeah. Oh no, I can definitely see that. I think what is it, the talents in Heroes of Storm there, you're going to be able to customize a bit, because a lot of times you don't know what you need until you get into combat. You know what the enemy's throwing at you, kind of lets you know what you need. Kind of our final question for you: what hero are you looking forward to most in play? I know you played Tyrael. Is there another one that you want to play more?
Oh man, there's so many of them. Because I'm a huge Blizzard fanboy, you can ask anybody. So I'm really excited about playing all of them. But I have to say, my favorite character of all time is Illidan. And
okay.
I didn't get to play him at the at BlizzCon, so I cannot wait to dive in and really get to explore how Illidan plays.
Well, he's supposed to be pretty tricky, right? From the way they talk about it a little bit, is that he's supposed to be one of the more advanced heroes that we're going to run across?
That's what it seems like. He kind of reminds me of what's his name, Ricky from Dota 2, the little stealthy guy.
Yeah, I think I know
like
who
assassin.
Yeah, kind of like an assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. I played a little bit of Dota 2 recently, but not to a point where I know all the heroes they have there.
Yeah, they have a lot.
Well, I guess we're going to kind of move into the news section. There wasn't much news. There was some more gameplay footage out with Day 9 and Dustin Browder on the Cursed Hollow map. It was very exciting for me. I just kind of watching the map. I really like how that map played out, where you had to get the objective, get 3 of the objectives, and it just weakened your enemies. You could really, time a push. Do you think that's going to, cause balance issues? Either David or Josh, whoever wants to chime in.
I'll let Josh go. He's new.
Okay, thank you. I don't think it will create balance issues because since it's a team brawler, a team who gets all that should have the ability to use it. So to me, it doesn't seem like it will create an imbalance to you. That's how this game seems to be. The maps have these special abilities to them, which is different than the other MOBAs out there. Which this game, they don't really even call it a MOBA themselves. They call it more of a team brawler. So I don't think it'll cause any imbalance issue. If your team, I guess you can say, sucks and not be able to get them, then you were going to lose anyways.
Yep. David, do you think it's going to cause an issue with the game, like the objectives like that, or do you just like the fact that it helps to kind of speed along the match a bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think my only concern is that, like we mentioned, if you really suck, it's really going to feel fast. Like, the games are going to go by really, really quickly. I know when I'm playing League of Legends, I mean, I've been on some pretty crappy teams, and, I've been part of those crappy teams because I'm still pretty new to the game. But it still felt like I had at least a good amount of time in the game, even though we were terrible. My only concern with the objectives is that if you aren't that great, the game's going to feel like you're getting, the one shot, so to speak. Like, it's going to be really, really quick. But I mean, it certainly, it adds something different than everybody else has got in terms of the depth of the objective. So I mean, I wouldn't change it. My only concern again is, and this is a concern I've made before, is the pacing a little too quick with Heroes of the Storm.
Like a little too quick, yeah. I think that's the biggest concern. I like it being a little quick. We've talked about that before. Do you like the quicker matches, Josh, or do you think a little bit longer would be better?
I love them. I hated I've been in matches where my roommate plays League of Legends with me sometimes, and he comes up in my room and we'll kind of land it, I guess, old school style. But we'd be like, okay, let's play like 3 or 4 matches. And then we get in a match that lasts over an hour long, and there goes 3 or 4 matches, and we end up losing in that match anyways. So this game, we're both excited at. It's just you're in 20, 25 minutes, then you're out into the next match already. And I like the instant back-to-back matches because it's basically when you start the game off, it's instant action right away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Now, spoiler alert here if you haven't actually watched the match yet, but I'll talk about it a little bit. David, did you get a chance to actually watch the match?
Is this the one that they put on last week with the Q&A, or is this a different one?
It's a different one that came out today.
I haven't gotten a chance if it was today.
Yeah, literally, I just saw the post before show, so I threw it in there. Real quick, something I thought that you would have actually liked about it was Abathur was in it, and you got to see some play because I know you've been kind of asking the questions about support and specialists. It was really cool to actually see him played well. I was going to ask you what you thought of it, but
Well, no, that's okay. No, actually, now I'm really interested. Yeah, because I mean, that's the whole specialist. It's really interesting to me because it is something different, and also, I mean, it gives the options for a lot of creative gameplay, right? It gives you instead of just kind of what we think of as like the Holy Trinity in WoW and the equivalent that we've got with support and mid lane and AD carry and everything like that. It gives the opportunity to really throw a bunch of creativity and randomness in it. And so that's why I will as soon as we stop podcasting, I want to take a look.
Yeah, it was really cool because watching it, you're like, man, that team. It's always 4 against 5, because Abathur kind of hangs out behind everywhere. And you never really see him, but then he all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, Abathur just did that to help the team, and you're like, oh wow, that's really cool how he's not there, but affecting the battlefield so much. I feel. Josh, did you like the feel of Abathur? Did you get a chance to see anyone play him when you were at BlizzCon or no?
I didn't. I saw the panel when they talked about him, and he seemed really cool. I did watch that video right before we started recording, and his playstyle is very interesting. I don't know if it's my kind of playstyle, but I definitely want to try him with the things he can do. It's just I love the fact that you can infest your teammates to help them out on the battlefield without you actually being right there, and it's kind of cool. But if you get stuck in combat, you're basically going to die instantly.
Yeah. He moves really slow, and I bet you he doesn't have much in terms of hit points as well.
Yeah. That's what they were saying, that the hit points is very low for him.
Yes, definitely. And I know the one thing that the gameplay really did for me watching it today was it got me more excited to play kind of 2 heroes. Illidan, kind of like you said, you're excited to play Illidan. He looked awesome in play, and and Nova as well. Both kind of the assassin role, the kind of the AD carry I would almost consider in like traditional League of Legends, specifically Nova in that term because she's kind of the ranged. Is there anything that really stood out that you really enjoyed of the gameplay, Josh?
Something that I noticed that I didn't notice before was Felstad. Is that how you pronounce his name? Felstad?
Oh yeah,
Falstad, yeah.
Yeah, he was flying like over the rocks and the terrain, like not having to run around him. He just flies over top of them.
Yeah.
And I never paid attention to him before doing that, and I saw that, and then I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, when you did that in the game, you're like, he looked like he was kind of backing himself into a corner, and then all of a sudden he's up and over and out of the way, and you're like, oh yeah, he's on a griffin. He should be able to fly.
Yep. He can fly and still get, but they don't make him too cheap. He can still get attacked by ground attacks. I saw.
Yes, and it was really interesting because I think it adds a little bit more to the gameplay that they've added flying into the game. Where I don't think there's flying in League of Legends or in Dota, unless I'm completely mistaken. I know there's some people who can was it Fizzle or something like that in League of Legends, where he kind of hops around. You can't hit him when he's in the air, but he doesn't jump over terrain. And there's dashes and stuff that can go through terrain, but he just works really well, it seems.
Yeah, that was pretty rad. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. What else was interesting was basically like the little huts that once you get into like the inner sanctum, I guess, where they explained how they turn them into catapults for the enemy team. So you constant barrage. Like they didn't mention that before that I remember, and I definitely didn't see it in any of the gameplay. So it's neat how these gameplays actually kind of give us a little bit more information that we might not have known about had they not passed it out.
Yeah.
Anything else either of you guys have to say before we kind of move into our hero spotlight?
No, I think we're good.
We're good? Okay, so we're heading on into the hero spotlight.
This is the Hero Spotlight.
Now, every week we look at one hero, we look at their abilities, we talk about the skins, and this week is no different as we talk about Nova. David, why don't you give us the cliff notes of the story that is Nova?
Now, I got to admit, when I was originally looking at doing the story of Nova today, I thought it was pretty much a straightforward character. I didn't think that a whole lot had been expounded on her, but I was really surprised when I started doing some more research. Nova, of course, is a character. She was supposed to be the main character in a game called StarCraft Ghost, which was shelved by Blizzard. It just wasn't really what Blizzard wanted it to be. But there is actually a great novel out there, StarCraft Ghost Nova, that actually really expounds into her story. So I'm kind of doing a really high-level synopsis of her story. Again, her tale sort of continues on into the StarCraft 2 lore, but I'm just going to really give her background. She's essentially born into a wealthy, noble family, like really like old money type of in the StarCraft universe. She's got psionic ability, but they've decided to hide it because they don't want her necessarily to become a ghost. They'd rather keep her in the family. So she's sent away for her safety, especially during the Zerg invasions. Now, while she's sent away, her whole family is killed by rebels. And she feels that, and it's really traumatic for her. But what happens again is that she's captured by essentially an organized crime boss who, obviously she has a really rough time being kidnapped by him. And she actually gets to the point where she can escape, but she has to sacrifice herself back into captivity to save some children. They use her psionic abilities to basically weed out anyone who's planning on backstabbing the boss, and they use her as an executioner as well. She does escape from there, and she is actually brought towards the hegemony, which essentially gives her the offer to become a ghost, a StarCraft ghost, which is your ultimate special forces on the Terran side in StarCraft. I think the quote from her essentially when they say you're going to lose all your memories, she comes back and says, "Why would I want to keep them?" And then she actually, becomes a ghost in the StarCraft universe. Her story really continues on in Wings of Liberty, and you can find out more about her there. If you do want to get really in depth in this character, who even I'm surprised exactly how much depth there was, that novel is probably a really great place to start.
Yeah.
And also, you can really tell a lot about her personality from the trailer too.
Oh yeah, I thought it was a surprise when they showed her in the trailer. And I remember, I think one of the first things you said to me was, "Who is this person attacking Diablo or Arthas?" Remember, like when we first started talking about it, you're like, how is she gonna stand up to Diablo and Arthas? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to me, she's the star of the trailer, really. I mean, you've got all these, great lore characters, but to me, in terms of that little bit of story that's in that trailer, I'm like, okay, I want to find out more about her, and I guess I found out there's a lot more to find out about her.
Oh yeah, her story is funny because when I was reading over the story, I knew a little bit about it just from playing StarCraft, but I couldn't help but liken her story to River Song from Firefly. If anyone's a Firefly fan of you two, kind of latent psychic abilities, born into wealth, taken by the government into a secret program.
Yeah, I'm a big Summer Glau fan, so I know a little bit about River. So I did eventually have to move on from Sigourney Weaver, and so I became a big Summer Glau fan. And I've actually watched some Firefly, and I agree. I think it's a very similar type of strong female prototype character.
Mm. And then, that means if we ever see a StarCraft movie, now that there's a Warcraft movie, we can have Nova played by Summer Glau.
Not to go on a tangent, doesn't it feel almost like StarCraft would be a better movie?
I feel like there's more of a direction maybe in StarCraft in terms of a linear story opposed to Warcraft where it's like there's a ton of stories going on at once. So it depends on really how well they do the movie. Josh, what do you
Fair
think?
enough.
Yeah, I agree. What you said, they do have a lot of stories in World of Warcraft with each and every different character. They do have that with StarCraft, but there's not as many characters as Warcraft. So they could really do it. They would basically just sit with the Gem Raider story, though, I would think. Mm-hmm. But I'm totally fine with that because I love StarCraft. My actual icon there everyone's looking at, that's my Zerg hoodie I got at BlizzCon. So anything StarCraft, I'm down for it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and start talking about her abilities a little bit. We'll start off with her passive. Basically, after being out of combat for 3 seconds, she becomes stealth. And we talked about this last week, where you're not actually invisible. You still have a outline around you, and in like a solo lane, you might be able to be caught by the enemy, but you're kind of trying to sneak around a little bit more during the team fights. I would assume. So we've had a lengthy discussion about this stuff last week, but I kind of like it. I know other people don't.
Yeah, you know my opinion on stealth already. As far as I'm concerned, if you're invisible, you're invisible. But that's the mage in me talking there. She's also got sniper shot as an ability. She basically shoots in a target direction and dealing damage to the first enemy it hits. I could see this being an ability really where if you're trying to target one of their specialists or assassins or support, this might be an opportunity for one of the tankier enemies, maybe to jump in and intercept it, depending how fast it goes.
Yeah, that one reminds me of Jinx's ultimate from League of Legends.
Oh, you like the
The big
'cause
rocket.
Big rocket that just kind of goes out and hits somebody.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Nova also has Snipe, which Nova shoots the target enemy, dealing damage and slowing it down, which is definitely nice for picking off those pesky melee people who like to run away.
I almost feel like these two abilities are really, really close in what they're going to do. And I guess because she only has one weapon out there, that they kind of have a limited choice of what they can have her do. I feel like maybe I think they should pick one and then change the other one to something else. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's too much of the same with these two abilities?
Well, I think with one of them being a stun, it's a little bit different. I think Nova's sort of designed to be a very straightforward, playable character. So my concern is just that she ends up feeling a little too much like Raynor in the end. But I know we haven't done Raynor yet, but I'm just that would be my concern.
Raynor's a little slower than Nova,
Which makes sense.
Yeah, so they will have a little. I don't see them being too similar, other than the fact that they have guns and they're Terran.
Now, her another ability that she's got is Hollow Clone. Nova summons a clone at the target location to attack enemies around it. This one I really like because it really does feel like mirror image from WoW. Again, as just in case if anyone doesn't know, I play a mage. And also, when I was playing Guild Wars 2 as well, I like playing a Mesmer, and that all the images and clones and things that they produce really reminds me of this ability. So I was like popping up different versions. The world doesn't need enough doesn't have enough versions of me.
That's wicked funny. I once played a D&D character who would just multiply. So you'd like him. So her two heroic abilities. The first one will be Nuclear Strike, where she calls down a nuclear strike at a target location, dealing AoE damage. And then Rapid Snipe, where she fires 3 attacks at a target quickly, where other enemies can intercept the projectiles in the air and prevent them from damaging the target. So basically you have a choice between AoE and single target. And Rapid Snipe is basically like her sniper shot, just gets 3 attacks real quick. I feel like the abilities really fit her character, specifically, coming from her abilities in StarCraft 2. What I would like to see, if they were to make a couple edits to her ability as a whole, would be some more psychic attacks. Being a ghost, that's part of being a ghost is having these psychic abilities. I would definitely like to see them there.
Yeah, why isn't that snipe ability a psychic ability? It's a stun anyway, right? When you think about it, that logically you'd think that would be the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe make it like a single target, like psychic attack that slowed them.
Or even like a psychic blast wave in case she gets surrounded by enemies. She can like an AoE pushback for everyone. I'm surprised they don't have something like that, because Kerrigan does that. And she was a ghost, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. She definitely was. And it's just interesting that they kind of went more with the sniping range part of her rather than like the psychic part. Mm-hmm. But in balance and testing, they might find that they want to move it. And maybe if they listen to podcasts like us, they're like, oh, that's what they want.
Yeah. And I gotta say... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, I'm just gonna. This is really gonna be the first time I've done this, but I am gonna call a little bit of lore shenanigans here on this ability. I mean, it could have been something other than nuclear strike. Like, I know, it looked cool in the trailer and everything like that, but it takes me a little bit out of the game to see like them dropping a nuke on, Uther and seeing
Well,
him survive it. Like I lose. I know Ram, if you're listening, it's Uther. I know he's tough. You can heal him, but I expect him to be vaporized at that point.
oh, well, they do. The ghosts do that in StarCraft 2, and those pesky little ghosts hiding in your base, dropping nukes on your workers. Ugh, I hate those guys. I do gotta say though, since you said the nuke in the trailer, whenever the trailer was shown and she nuked Diablo, the crowd went nuts. It was so fun. Everyone was like, "Yeah!"
See, I can see it on Diablo because then I'm like, okay, maybe that's something big enough that can take him out. It's just when I see it doing it to like Gazlo, it's like, okay, it's a little bit of overkill.
It's like right before the nuke goes off, you almost hear the Mortal Kombat thing. It'd be like, finish him.
I expect Gazlo to like jump into a fridge.
I'm gonna waste all my nukes on Abathur just because he's so easy to kill, anyways.
That's pretty funny. So let's go ahead. We'll talk about our skins a little bit. Those in the chat room will actually be able to see the skins this time. I've kind of created a way of doing it. So of the 4 skins that we've kind of seen, there's the the classic roller derby, Kerrigan version, and the Spectre version. David, what is your favorite?
And you know what? It's not for the reasons that you think. I'm gonna have to go with like the roller derby version, and really, I mean,
it's the short shorts. Admit it.
And the short shorts are great and all, and I'm a child of the '70s and all that stuff. I like the gun. I think the gun looks cool. Like, I think if you take away everything else, I think it's the best looking rifle that she's got there. Pink butterflies accepted. But I think it's just like, it's the badass gun that she's got there, and it's got a cool look to it. So I'm gonna go with roller derby Nova.
And Josh, what do you think?
I really like the roller derby one too, but I'm going to say the Spectre one. It reminds me a lot of these bad guys in this show I've been watching called The Legend of Korra. Mm-hmm. And I think the designs of the characters in that are really awesome. So it really reminds me of that, and I like that a lot. I like that all armor look to it.
Yeah. We actually got to see the roller derby one in this week's gameplay video, which was pretty cool. It was fun to see her kind of rolling around rather than walking.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you. The Spectre look is pretty awesome, and I'm really hoping they do Tosh as a hero at some point, the Spectre from StarCraft 2.
Oh, okay, yeah. That would be awesome.
So it'll be interesting because what they're going to end up doing is they're going to go from, put him in a ghost costume as well, I think. So you can either, it would be cool to see Nova and Tosh kind of going against each other, but in the opposite suits that they're supposed to be in. I just think that'd be fun to watch.
That would be. I would totally be down for Tosh in this game here.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be interesting to see how they set apart the Ghosts and the Spectres, because honestly, I couldn't tell you the difference other than supposedly one of them makes the people go crazy during the kind of the transformation into that role. Is there any kind of skins that you can think of that you might want to see, Josh, when it comes to Nova?
To Nova, trying to think, because I know her character, but it's hard for me to think of a different skin for her, because they already have them covered. You can't really say the one from that would have been from StarCraft Ghost, because that's in here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I really can't think of anything new. I mean, I think all these costumes look great as they are.
Yeah. It would be pretty cool to see her almost in like maybe like a WoW Demon Hunter, or even a Diablo Demon Hunter skin. You know what I'm saying? Oh
yeah, that would be pretty sweet. They could make it like because there's a demon version of Teriel. They could do something like that with her. Mm-hmm. Just this normal Nova costume, ghost costume that she has, just make it reverse, like demonized.
I think one of our chat room participants suggested Lara Croft as a possible skin as well, which, looking at the model, I guess she could pull off.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely. So, with that, we're going to kind of move on to our next segment, and we're going to get you some tips for the mid laners.
Heroes here, no heroes needed here, no heroes wanted.
Now, first tip for mid laners, I can't stress this enough, I think I've said it on every episode, is this will pretty much have no bearings on your ability to play Heroes of the Storm. But the ability to last hit is yet again really important when it comes to being playing in the mid lane. Just because you're going one-on-one against somebody else, you need to make sure you're getting more gold than them, and that's kind of a primary way of doing it. David, you played a little bit of mid lane. Do you find that you're able to last hit a little bit better now that you've been playing a little bit more than, say, maybe when you first started?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my character is pretty good for last hitting just because of the I play Vigar a lot, and he's got some good abilities to basically go in and last hit. And really, it's very, very necessary because if you want to get at least the ones I play, you're not that strong at the beginning, and you really need to pick up your levels and also get the weapons as well.
Okay. Kind of the next tip is to make sure to ward both sides of the lanes around you. For those of you who we might not have talked about wards yet, it's basically just vision. It helps you to see if there's someone ganking coming at you. Josh, have you played much in the mid lane in League of Legends or Dota, or where do you tend to play?
I usually go top lane because I've tried to go middle by myself. I did fine. I did it as a lease. I did okay, I guess, but I didn't prefer it. I like having someone there to help me jump them, basically. Like, while they're pounding them down, I like to snag in for the kill.
Which, yeah, actually works perfect with our next tip is to work with your jungler. Talk to them. Say, hey, I'm gonna drop back a little bit. Let them think they're pushing up against me. You come in and we kind of tag team them and work together. So it's really kind of key when it comes to playing in a hero brawler where you're playing with a team.
I think another key thing too is also when if you can't spot where the opposing jungler is as well, you should be calling that they're missing in action, and try and at least roam a little bit if you can, just to try and make sure that everyone else has got the map vision to understand when someone's missing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. It's making sure that your team is aware of what's going on around you and what's missing in your lane is key. A lot of communication. I think that's why when we play after the show, sometimes it's more fun because you're like actually able to talk and you don't have to type everything, because sometimes you don't have the time to talk to type what you need to be saying.
Mm-hmm. I get that problem when there was this one period when I was hardcore in StarCraft 2, like 16 matches a day. Mm-hmm. With the guy I played with, typing wasn't an option. We had to talk, so I had to get a Ventrilo server. So talking with your teammates is so much easier than having to type out where they're at. Sometimes even easier than pinging the map of where they're missing.
Exactly. And we use Skype a lot, just because then you don't even have to hit control to talk, and it doesn't come in and out. Everyone's just open and talking, which is fun.
Yeah.
Another kind of key tip is don't be afraid to change your build and to adapt to who you're playing against. Well, what that basically means in Heroes of Storm is when it comes to choosing your talents, I think it'll be important to say take your AoE damage, like we said, Nova will have if that's what you're lacking as a team, or to take the single target if there's one person who's really kind of doing really good on the other team, and you need to make sure to center them down in terms of team fights. What do you guys have to say? You think have you guys kind of, when you play in actually any role, have you had the chance to really try different builds with your characters based on what's going on? Or are you still kind of just playing what you know?
I've been trying just different routes, essentially different builds. I mean, not getting into runes and things like that so much. I'm still learning that, but I have altered at times. Basically, what abilities to level first. Definitely, with the champions that I'm playing, do you want someone who's going to get their big AoE first, or do you want someone who's going to get their leveling first? In terms of rhyme or reason behind it, it's been more experimentation than anything else.
More experimentation than anything. How about you, Josh? Do you have a time where you've been able to adapt to what's going on?
With the League of Legends or Dota, not really. I look up guides and play them by the best rated guides and stick to that. So if you're going to play me, if I play Jinx in one match, I'm going to play her the exact same way in the next match, basically. That's like I was saying about the items before. That's something that I'm not too much a fan of, the talent system in runes. So I like the idea of this new game where you can just pick the item, the spell on the go. So I don't really adapt too well, I guess you can say.
I think you'd probably see a little more of that in the high level play, which actually our final tip is for kind of people who are starting to play a little bit more high level, is really know who else is possible to be in the mid lane, and know what characters counter what other heroes. So when in the kind of the draft mode where you're picking heroes back and forth, when they pick their mid laner, you can be like, okay, that is better played against certain heroes. So that way you kind of give yourself the upper hand even before the match even starts. I think a lot of people, you get kind of comfortable with one character, and it's important to kind of diversify and know more than just that one person. I know I've kind of diversified a little bit. I know like 280 carries at this point, but I can see where I probably need to know more in order to play better.
Yeah, and that's the deep end of the pool. I've been really hesitant to jump into yet, but I think I'm getting to the point where I got to get out of my comfort zone for that as well, and start branching out, be all that I can be.
Yeah, I'm with you there, David. I need to start branching out eventually. It's just it's scary out there. I don't want to suck because those communities can really be mean.
Oh yeah, it can be.
I think that's something that's going to be good with Heroes, though, is that, like, if I'm looking at a list of champions in League of Legends, I don't instinctively know what that champion is like. Like, I really have to kind of go in and study it. Whereas I kind of have a good idea what the Lich King is like.
Yeah.
I've got a good idea, what Diablo is all about. So it does give you a little bit of an advantage and comfort level to say, okay, well, if I want to be a healer, I know to be Uther. Or if I want to, zap things with my gun, I can be Nova.
Yeah, that was nice about getting in the line for Heroes of the Storm, because they give you a card that has 16 characters on it, and just looking at them based on who they are, you kind of get an idea of what they're going to play like. So you can get an idea of what character you want to play before you even get there.
Mm-hmm. It's actually funny. I didn't bring this up earlier. I kind of forgot about it, but that was one of the cool things about watching the gameplay. Is you immediately are able to like see an ability and know who put that ability out there, because we're so entrenched in these heroes at this point, especially if you're like Josh and me and David now, because we're going to pull him into StarCraft. He's going to know all the heroes there too. You just know, you're like, oh, that's obviously something Tassadar would do, or that's something Nova would do. It kind of almost makes it easier to follow the matches, I think.
Well, the funny thing too, though, is it's the old a little bit of knowledge can be a dangerous thing. Because I remember watching it live, and me and the guys from Stormcast were tweeting back and forth, and we were talking about the Starfall ability, and just I know Starfall from Hearthstone more than anything else. So I was like, oh, that's Malfurion. They're like, no, it's Tyrande. I'm like, oh, okay, oh, all right, a little confused. So that's where your knowledge can get you in trouble a little bit, but which it was an amazing ability, by the way, Starfall Rock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it seemed very powerful compared to some of the other AoE that we saw. It was interesting, but yeah, I'm super excited, because especially when it comes to, say, casting the matches, I think it'll be easier for Blizzard fans to be able to be like, oh, name their characters real quick off, rather than trying to really pull into your memory. Like when I play League of Legends, I'm like, what's that person's name? I can't quite think of it.
Yeah,
well, it's kind of like, to use an example, it's like when you watch the Avengers movie, right? Because you'd sort of seen all the heroes in their own movies. They didn't really have to mess around introducing it, right? Like, you just jump into it right away. That's sort of what I think about.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's a great point.
And that's funny that you mentioned that Starfall thing, because I thought Malfurion was doing it too, because person casting it, isn't that a druid spell?
Yeah, that's why I thought it was from Hearthstone. But apparently, I was told it was Tyrande.
She's a priestess, so I don't know how she would have that.
Yeah.
I think that's where, our World of Warcraft character creation and lore kind of butt heads, seeing as though Tyrande is a priestess of Elune, and which is the moon and stars and all that. So I think that's where it kind of butts heads. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like David say, too much knowledge kind of assume things that might not be true.
I just had this terrible thought, and I don't even know if you guys like. What if they have a Medan hero?
A Medan?
Are you familiar with Medan?
He's the one from the comic books, right? Medivh.
Yeah, the one he makes
kid.
Thrall he's the greener Jesus than Thrall. He's like
I think it's the WoW Insider podcast with Matt Rossi, where he constantly says that he's great for a comic book character. He's like the Superman of World of Warcraft comics, but he does not work well in a video game because he just can do too much, and he's just there and can do whatever. He needs to be able to see through that building. Oh, he has X-ray vision then.
That's right. So
Superman.
he should be in this and just have everyone's ability.
Like Abathur, who can just turn into his teammates and do anything.
No, whoever plays him, he just has to go solo. No team for him. He just plays
Yeah,
with
that's
that
right.
guy.
Just one person.
You get to play by yourself. Sorry.
Maybe they'll have it as an objective. You have to kill him.
Oh, they make him like an objective somewhere.
Yeah, and he just he's really all five of you have to go kill him while the other team rampages around.
They could. I mean, it's endless possibilities with this game. That's something that's great about it. There's so many characters and different stuff that they can pull from, like comic books and just the books alone and video games to put whatever they want in there.
Mm-hmm. There's so many heroes, and I think, like I was saying earlier, we're putting together kind of a round table of all the podcasts, and I think one of the big things we're going to talk about is who are they missing and who needs to be done in order to make us happy as gamers and fanboys.
Oh, they need they already kind of showed it, but they didn't have anything for him yet. Chen Stormstout. He was on the big poster in front of BlizzCon, so can't wait for him.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I think we're going to wrap up with our final segment, which will be where we just kind of talk about skins and which ones we want to see. So this week, our theme is kind of a sci-fi / StarCraft themes for our WoW and Diablo heroes. David, you get to go first.
Well, the obvious one is I'm gonna go with Rick Deckard Cain from Blade Runner. So he's gonna be like Deckard Cain, but with a cool gun and a trench coat. My other idea would be I'd like to see a Darth Maul Illidan. I think that would be pretty cool.
That'd be a good one.
I think that'd be pretty
really
awesome.
Take my exactly what I wanted to say.
Was it that? It was that obvious, huh?
Wow, I can't believe it. That is just so crazy. Just because I'm like Darth Maul is a thing, but with dual, double-sided lightsabers.
Yeah, that's the first thing that I thought of. I saw the double. I'm like, okay, Darth Maul. Not that it'll ever happen with a Star Wars IP, but still.
That would still be pretty rad.
Yeah,
That'd be
I mean they
awesome.
can always allude to it like they do in other games,
Yeah.
Like Darth Maul.
I'll pay $20 for that skin.
$20. That's.
Yep.
I think I would too.
There you go.
That'd be pretty awesome.
He could be Darth. He could be Darth Maul. You'll spell it Gnoll, and you'll just give him like a dog face or whatever those guys have.
So Josh, other than the obvious Darth Maul Illidan skin that we want so bad already, what are you kind of looking forward to if there's like a sci-fi theme?
They might kind of have it in there already, but I kind of would love to see Raynor as the captain of the Firefly. Well, I forget his name.
Mal Reynolds.
Yeah, I think that would be because they're so similar in characters. Just having that nod to that awesome show, I think that would be awesome.
That would be pretty awesome. I'm trying to think. Now that you took mine, I really am having like a hard time trying to do it.
That's why I had two ready.
That's why you had two ready, so you could take mine before I even talked. I mean, in the chat room, we're getting some cool ones. Let's see. A gnome character is R2D2. That'd be pretty interesting. you have. It seems like everybody goes like right to Star Wars. From Rem, who couldn't make the show, she wants to see a C-3PO themed Uther because it's gold. Duh.
Couldn't you, for Gazlo, how he's kind of carrying that thing on his back? Couldn't you do like a Chewbacca with C-3PO on his back, like an Empire kind of thing?
That would be pretty cool. And I think we mentioned last week with Gazlo almost put like an SCV on his back. So it was like kind of his StarCraft 2 skin, which would be would be pretty cool. It's so funny. It's like I wanted to have a really good one, and I'm like
Dalek.
A Dalek?
Get a Dalek in there somewhere.
Oh, you know what? You could do Falstad as a Dalek.
Perfect.
And then like it opens up and you see him inside and it closes.
How about it's combining the same universes, so they may do it. A Terran Marine. Remember when they joke about that? And you can actually find them in StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty. A Terran Marine as Jim Raynor would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think that's the first time we've ever come up with an idea that they may do.
Right.
Yeah.
Ours are always crazy. It's they're already out there. I'm trying to think of any other ones that would be pretty cool. I'm trying to think of one for Thrall, because I feel like of all the heroes, we've kind of like never talked about what we'd like to see Thrall in. And I'd almost like imagine if they did like you said, like Mal Reynolds, but like in Thrall, because he kind of leads the ogres, the orcs,
the ogres.
Yeah, he's in charge of the ogres now. I forgot.
Yeah.
Do Captain Jack Thrall because of the sexy blue eyes.
There you go.
Oh man.
Kerrigan could be the Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
From X-Men.
From X-Men.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You could go that way.
Yeah, or you could do that with Nova too, technically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different options. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up our show for this week. I want to thank Josh for coming on. Why don't you let everybody know where they can reach you, where they can listen to your podcasts, anything you want to pimp out and let people know about.
All right. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at Pakkuan_AIE. I'll spell that for you. It's PAKKUAN, then _AIE. The name is a random generated Blizzard name, so yay there. And then you can find my podcast at lifestyle_geek. And then also we have one in the works for our Prepare for Combat one. But
Which
that's
is
not
your Heroes of the Storm one, right?
correct. Which we have a website, prepareforcombat.net, but no Twitter's available yet.
Okay. And David, how about you let everybody know where they can get a hold of you as well?
Sure, you can reach me. I've got some articles up at blizzmaster.com, including my latest, which is kind of, we're looking at what the world would have been like without Garrosh Hellscream. And you can also reach me at Twitter at BrillianCTR. That's 2 L's and 2 A's.
And finally, you can reach me at Geek of Random on Twitter, and you can follow the show at the Nexus Podcast. We're looking for questions, theme ideas over at for our podcast, so please email them to us at show@heroesofthenexus.com. If you tweet them to me, I can pull them up that way. For those of you who aren't live, remember we record every Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific, at twitch.tv/Heroes of the Nexus. And thank you for downloading either on iTunes, Stitcher, or the Windows Marketplace. Come on over to our website, visit our forums. We actually got some people in the forums. No one talking just yet, but it'll be fun once they do. And we're proud members of the Blizzmaster Network. Everyone have a great weekend, and we will talk to you all later. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
And stop Audacity. So funny because we didn't have Rem to be like, bye.
Yeah, but Rem's here. That's
I
okay.
know.
She's here in spirit. Or someone pretending to be Rem.
Yeah, I almost half want to like cut her saying goodbye out of like the old episode and put it at the end of this episode because it just would be funny.
Just make that the normal sign off.
The sign off.
every episode.
You can't do my thing. David did my thing.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I got all excited with the Captain Jack Thrall. I got all girlish.
The Dread Pirate Thrall.
The Dread Pirate Thrall. Well, because you think of Thrall now in his model.
You just
the
got
first thing
really
you think
loud,
now is
David.
Jedi.
Am I crazy?
Me?
Maybe I just turned my volume up accidentally. Sorry.
I think that was that.
Yeah, because you got loud too. Anyways, sorry. Jedi?
Yeah, no. When you look at Thrall's model now, you think Jedi, right? With the hood and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, he could be like an Obi-Wan Kenobi Thrall.
I was thinking of like Uther or Thrall with like that Grabthar's hammer guy from Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah.
Alan Rickman, whoever Alan Rickman plays in that.
Yep. I
Yeah,
remember that.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I think I need to start letting you guys know the themes way ahead of time, not just like half hour before the show starts.
Yeah, because maybe I wouldn't have had to steal your idea, Adam.
I know. Karn is Obi-Wan Kenobi. That would be pretty. Who would be Han Solo?
Rainer.
Yeah, Rainer.
Rainer.
Rainer, yeah.
Gallywix can be Yoda.
Yeah, I was thinking of like Elite Tauren Chieftain as like that music guy from Jabba's palace.
Yeah. Galley would be Yoda. Yeah. Man, it's so funny. There's so much like ideas that way.
It's all Star Wars though. I was trying to think of like Star Trek guys, but you can't be like, Diablo as Jean-Luc Picard. Like it doesn't make any sense.
I know, Diablo's hard to fit into some of the other stuff. Like they have to just go completely crazy, like Godzilla Diablo, but they have the Kaiju Diablo out there.
But I was noticing this because when I was doing a little research for our upcoming Diablo episode, the Diablo you play in the game, it's not like the one in the trailer, right? Like it's Diablo 1 Diablo, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, that's a bit disappointing.
So it's funny. Rem just said, who would be Jar Jar Binks? I'm like, who is the most pointless character in all of Blizzard Entertainment?
Uther?
Ooh. When that delay catches up, you are gonna get hell. And when she somehow gets into this call and scolds you, it's
yeah. Never mind. There's a delay. I was lagging. Jar Jar.
Garrosh.
Be a Murloc, some kind of Murloc, probably, right?
Murloc, maybe.
Just as understandable as Jar Jar.
Oh man, it's so funny.
Murlocs at least have a following, though. People love Murlocs.
David is dead to me. Does it make it better if it's a gold Jar Jar who plays Uther? Man, it's so funny that the show's over and we're getting more people listening.
That's how
they
it
like
works.
the banter.
Yeah, the random just chit chat.
I hope there's not another Nexus podcast that comes on right after us.
the official Nexus podcast. I think because Rem's listening, and hopefully, I think she'll be here next week. I think for next week, I think we should do like a old arcade game theme.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give her something because she's mad at me now.
Yeah, either that or we have to give her anime to do. We have to like calm her down.
That's right, Rem. We love you, Rem. I'm very sorry.
He's sorry.
I got my article out. Did you get a chance to read the article, Adam?
No. I've been so far behind. Graham's gonna kill me. I haven't put an article on forever because I do the Crusader article, and the biggest thing is I don't have access to the beta, so I don't want to be like regurgitate what other people are playing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm like stealing. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Read my article. I'm constantly shilling this. I was doing this with Salad Senate too. Read it. This is actually my favorite one.
It's your favorite one?
Yeah, this is my It's a Wonderful Life with Garage.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I need to.
Yeah, so it's actually up there now. So I'm actually this was the one I was most proud of. It's the stupidest one, but it's the one I'm the most proud of.
Did you see episode 9 that all the iTunes stuff finally updated? Because for some reason the solo episode me and Rem did it completely broke the feed, so I had to remake it.
No, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, well, so episode 9 I named More Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, I did see that. Yes, I was very happy. But I wanted you to name it Sigourney Wiener.
I almost did, but I'm like, that might get Apple mad.
Josh has no idea what we're talking about, of course. That was what, was it? Rem said that, right, after the show? Sigourney Wiener.
No, that was said during the show.
Was it said during the show? I forgot about it.
So.
It's funny you said that. Talk about all the podcasts coming up at once there.
Mm-hmm.
I have a podcasting app called Cast, and it gives me notifications of podcasts I'm subscribed to when they pop up.
Yep.
And I don't know if it was like last night or this morning, but it kept going off because I got like 2 or 3 new podcasts from you guys popping up on my feed. I'm like, what's going on here? Did my phone screw up?
Yeah, I had to delete the entire feed and then re-add all the shows because for some reason the description of episode 8 that I put up had the correct characters to cause a complete feed meltdown. So you actually got episodes 8, 9. I held off 10, which was last Friday's episode, which I'm going to put up tomorrow, and I'm going to put this episode up 3 days from then, and then we'll be back on track. Because I tried to not overload people as much as possible, but I need to get them out so we can be back on track and on time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you probably got a bunch of them. It was probably late at night too, because I did it after raid, and I raid till 11, so I was like, I'm getting this fixed tonight.
Is 10 up yet, Adam?
No, 10 will be up tomorrow.
Okay.
11 will be up. This episode will be up in 3 days. I have 10 all edited, but I wanted to give people like a couple days to like get caught up. And I hate being behind, but I feel like if there's like 3 episodes in a row, they might just listen to the new one.
Yeah, no, that does happen. Thanks, by the way, Josh. I hope you had fun.
Yeah. Oh, I did. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast.
No,
it was great.
It was great. I really like it because if you're gonna have your own Heroes podcast, if we need someone to fill in, we're gonna still pull you in because it'll just be fun. Because you see that with all the World of Warcraft podcasts, people jump around, and I really hope to build like a community like that where we all play together, hang out, and it's not like your podcast isn't as good as mine.
I think Remedy's actually Googled Sigourney Wiener.
I don't want to know what she found.
I'm only allowed to associate people with my podcast. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, like eventually, like once the beta comes out, I've been learning how to use Adobe. I forget. I get all their things. Bring them on when she's back. We can talk to Zelda. She's funny. Adobe.
She seems pretty awesome.
She is. I think it's Encore. Is it that does all the video editing, so that way I can do hero guides, when they once we actually get into the beta, because I'm gonna do hero guides. I'm gonna do casting. Just gonna do a whole bunch of Adam. What? It's funny with the delay. I'm like, what is she saying that to?
Adobe.
Don't you shame my Adobe products? I'm not shaming them. I just get all the names confused. There's so many of them.
We had Regex in our raid group last night. I hadn't gotten a chance to raid with them before.
You guys say you were in Convert to Raid, right?
Yep.
They started.
I am. Adam's not. Yeah.
They started
in AIE.
Did you say?
No, I know. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I heard it. Actually, I started in AIE too.
Did you really?
I was in AIE for. I came back to WoW. I guess it would have been in March. I was in AIE till about right just when the last patch opened, and then I switched over. I kind of had my alliance bug. I wanted to get out of my system, and I wanted to. Everyone was switching to flex rating in AIE. It felt like, at least in the 25-man group. So I decided to switch over to CTR. And I got pretty lucky. I caught on with Salad, and that's a fun group to be with.
I've been in AIE since I think early 2010, and I used to raid with at the time the AIE podcaster Warak.
Okay.
Our team name was Son of a Lich.
Yeah.
So that was some of the most fun I had in that game since vanilla. That group was so fun. I miss them a lot. Every time I get back in the game and start looking for a raid group, like you said, a lot of them are doing flex rating, which is true.
Yeah.
I miss having that core group of raiders, and I think that's something why I haven't played Warcraft in a while. I haven't really played Warcraft since BlizzCon because I want to find that 10-man core group, and I can't. It's hard to.
Well, if you don't want to take your guy out of AIE, I mean, with the new 90 boost coming up, you can always have it tune in CTR. CTR, it's you fall out of bed, you fall into a raid group. There's so many. Like I've never really raided normal before patch 5.4, and I got a chance to raid with. We've got like a pretty decent 25 man. Like we're not doing heroic or anything like that, but it's a really fun group, and there's like a few good podcasters, Mega Code's in there, and Summer or Sal from Converted Podcast. So it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it's a fun group.
I remember talking to Solar Flare in AIE chat.
Yeah.
Right, like maybe a month before they moved over to servers, and he was very nice.
For the record, David, I am in Convert to Raid. Thank you.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know you'd moved over.
No, I've been in. I've had a character in Convert to Raid since. At first, like 2 weeks after they created it, I had a character in there, and then he got booted when I had my daughter because I didn't sign in for a bit, and then I got him back in there. So I had been true to Convert to Raid for a while.
I thought your raiding guy was in another guild, though.
Yeah, my raiding guy is, but that doesn't mean I'm not a CTR.
Your raiding guy's not in Convert to Raid. That's like.
He will be soon. He will be soon.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'm making a mage with my level 90 boost.
Your raiding guy's in an RP guild, and your RP guy's in Convert to Raid.
What's wrong with that? So what if they're both... Hey, for the record, both my characters have the same name and are the same class in both guilds. They're both level 90 monks named
Rem's pushing the chickens here in the chat room.
Yeah,
I take it that's her raid group.
Yeah, it is. He's the raid leader. They're the second best 25-man team in Convert to Raid.
Well, high five to you.
So,
although we share the same naked monk.
Who do you share?
What? Rem will know what I mean. Both of us have a curiously transmogged monk, the same monk in both our groups.
I have characters across at least 10 servers at this point.
Wow.
Because I've jumped servers so many times because like I'd play and then people would quit, and I'd play, people would quit, and now I play and my friends quit, and I kind of joined a new group and brought other people in, and I want to get into a little more heroic raiding. Like my team's just now getting done with getting to Galacross now. So I'd really like to get a little bit further.
Man, you guys are making me miss WoW. I love the game. It's just I want to raid. I've been raiding since vanilla, and I can't seem to find a raid group anymore.
I'm at that sad point. Yeah, I'm at that sad point right now where I burned through all my money because I've been like for the last 2 months I've been just raiding. So I haven't been farming gold or anything, like you know what I mean, not farming gold, but like trying to earn gold and stuff like that. And it's like I'm kind of getting down low now in terms. So I'm like, oh geez, I actually got to go back and kill crocolisks and all that, all the menial things I was doing before.
Mm-hmm. So, I need to. I want to raid high, but I think I'm going to switch over to a mage. David, you'd be proud.
All right. But you're not going to be an arcane, right? Because nobody likes being arcane.
Actually, arcane is my favorite one.
Oh, well, there you go.
It always has been.
Because you know what? It saves a lot of your keyboard buttons because you never touch them.
Well, sometimes I have to hold my daughter, so it'll be easy for me to play arcane mage.
Sometimes I like to make a nice Monte Cristo sandwich while I'm raiding, so that's why arcane's good.
I remember raiding in Burning Crusade time with my mage. I was an arcane fire mage, and I had a macro set up to have my instant cast proc with my trinkets and do a pyroblast. One time I critted for over 10,000. That was a lot.
Well, see, wasn't it one of the patches? It was like arcane fire. This expansion, right? Was the hot thing? It was before I came back.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was like the hot thing was.
Arcane was good. Actually, all of Cataclysm, Arcane, I think was the top dog. Hey, so real quick, because I thought of it. So we need to start making a meme And you made me think of it, David. It can be you take a picture of like a mage, and above it go, I don't always play arcane mage, but when I do, I make a Monte Cristo sandwich while I do it.
I was actually, don't laugh. I had this conversation with Rem. I wanted to do a whole series of articles for it. Like, because this was before like anyone was doing mage columns for Blizzmaster, so I wanted to do like the arcane column, which was really just bad advice, like on how to be an arcane mage, like just really like just the laziest like talents you can possibly choose.
Yeah.
Like, what's that one mage talent where you don't even have to do anything? It's like the damage mitigation one, because there's like not ice block, but the other one, ice something.
Yeah.
Frost armor. I forget what it was. And it was like the whole idea behind it was just like basically how to do like raid, but with like the minimum amount of work.
Yeah. Oh man, I have a ton of them. But like, I don't always play arcane mage, but when I do, I like to balance my checkbook.
I don't always play arcane mage, but when I do, I use a Atari 2600 joystick.
Oh god. Okay, so we're gonna we're gonna bring this this recording to a close. Josh, thank you again for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll have to exchange League of Legends names. We're gonna play after the show in like 20 minutes if you're interested.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't know if Dave has time to play or not.
I'm gonna see.
Okay.
Real quick, I have my audio file.
Okay. Just you can email it to me. It should work.
Okay.
At the Heroes of the Nexus at gmail.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do it to that one just because it'll be in the same place where everyone else's will be.
Excellent. Is there a certain export file?
MP3.
Or, okay, export to MP3.
Yeah, just because it'll actually make it to me in time. Because I think the Audacity files are huge. So we're gonna end the broadcast. Remedies. I will be in League of Legends in a bit, and we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for coming again.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.